militarization was one of the problems because there were many hydro dams trying to be built by Ayala Corporation and Quad River. And they wanted to build a series of 6 mini dams in the municipality of Tino. But the people there, they signed the MOA without knowing that they were being exploited. And so when they retracted their MOA, the military came in and they tried to harass the people, saying you can't retract the MOA. So there were more of the civilians there living in that municipality who supported the New People's Army because they defended their interests. And because there were many who supported the NPA, they started targeting the activists who were also healthy. So there, the military came up with the Tino target list, a list of 28 community leaders, activists, and NGO development workers who they thought were supporting the NPAs. So that's where we learned that some of my colleagues in the Ifugao peasant movement were listed there. In 2014, my friend and colleague William Bugatti, who was the human rights officer of the Ifugao peasant movement, was assassinated after a court hearing which he celebrated openly the military lying about their testimony to these political prisoners. So he was assassinated 5:45, going home. And 5 minutes before arriving home, 2 men riding in tandem shot him. After that, I became the human rights officer of the Ifugao peasant movement. And in 2015, I received my first death threat along with 9 other IPM members. 5 of them were in the peasant communities. The other 5 were from the Secretariat. And this death threat said, gray May, June gloom, no sky July. Meaning by July, we would all be dead. And it was in the form of the gobong, which is the Ifugao burial blanket of the dead. And it was a bastardization of the culture. It was BAYAN USA who really took up the defense of myself and the Cordillera activists who were also being targeted by hosting webinars and taking up the campaign with Bluer Skies for Ifugao. So I thank BAYAN USA for taking up that campaign. And in 2016, surveillance heightened. This is the time of when Duterte became president. When surveillance heightened, that means we weren't able to make our rounds to the prisons anymore, servicing the political prisoners, because there were military intel groups waiting for us, taking videos of us while we visited. In 2017, I was stopped in a checkpoint in Kalinga, and they said that they were looking for the NDFP Cordillera spokesperson, Kennedy Bangibang, when they stopped our bus. But they were actually looking for myself and 2 other activists. And when they told me to get off the bus, they wanted to search my bag, and I asked them, well, do you have a warrant? And they said, no, but we have top-level intel that you're carrying a gun and bullets in your bag. And without making too much of a scene, because it's already past 9 p.m. and there was no cell signal in the area, I let them search my bag under protest. but it was only I who can remove the contents. When they couldn't find anything except for my clothing and my daughter's clothing, my colleagues from the bus, the elderly women said, "You guys should all be ashamed of yourself because Brandon has been helping us out. And he's one of us here, the Cordillera, and you haven't been treating your guests here properly." So during the next Cordy Day, Randy Malayao, who was the NDFP spokesperson, he made sure that all of us who were targeted were also we're in good company because what we're doing is just, and they're targeting us for helping the people. Later on, flyers about us were being spread. I forgot in 2014, that's the first time I found red tagging information about me and my colleagues at the organization on social media. And we asked the help of the provincial governor to take down some of these posts, which he was admin to some of these social media groups. And in 2015, we were able to organize the church groups to aid and support us and host NDFP and GRP peace talk in our province. And in 2018, another friend and as an organizer, Ricardo Minyuni, was assassinated in his home past 6 p.m. He was able to organize the opposition to the mini hydro dam projects in Tino province. And again in 2019, actually in 2018, President Duterte passes Executive Order 70, which declares the CPP, MPA as communist, as terrorist organizations, thereby creating the MTF-LCOC. And January of that year, I was visited by the military, as well as some of my colleagues and peasant friends. They were being convinced to stop organizing and drop their activism, and to stop fighting these dam companies. And throughout the rest of the year, the military kept coming back and asking to partner with us in the IPM, asking that we bring development to the peasantry with them, and for me to give them a human rights orientation. But I already told them that they already have government resources already having their own human rights orientation, which they keep violating. And I told them 2 reasons why we can't partner with them was because of William Bugatti and Ricardo Mayumi. A week before the attempted assassination, they visited me again. They tried to visit me at home, but I wasn't there. I was at the office, so they went to the office. But I was alone there with one youth, and I told her that we don't have to entertain them. So they stood outside our office for half an hour, knocking on the door, but we didn't answer it. And after an hour, when we left, they were waiting for us at the waiting shed. They were in civilian outfit, but you can tell they're military. And I asked them, what do they want? And they said, we just want to partner with you in the IPM. And I told them that told them that we can't because of what you guys have been doing with the peasantry and how you guys are just harassing each one of our members. And after that day, I stopped going to the office. We had to change our movements. Everyone in the office actually stopped going. And on the day of August 6, 2019, at around 5:45, I just fed my daughter and I went outside to feed the dogs and I was shot. And because of the mass movement in the Cordillera, and because of the mass movement here, and friends around the world, I was brought back to safety, where I was able to recover and still speak the truth, even though I cannot walk anymore or use my hands. As long as I have a voice, I will still keep fighting. And to this day, the NTF LCAC, or in 2019, the NTF LCAC declared Ifugao a priority area to be neutralized. And after I was brought back here, the NTF LCAC still targeted myself, Melissa Rojas, and Amado Canham Rodriguez, as well as all in the organizations in this room. What I learned is that when you are red tagged, it's because you're doing something good. You're helping the people. The more we should embrace the masses and not isolate ourselves. And in the Cordillera region today, all the mass activists, the leaders there, they're all being targeted. And they're using the law, they're weaponizing it to target these activists. They're putting trumped up charges, they're planting bullets, grenades in houses for those who are opposing these development aggression projects. And if everyone here can curl up their hands and make a fist, there's an expression in the Cordillera, and Carl Rowley usually reminds me of this. He says, Payt Latta, that means fight until the end. And that's what I plan on doing with every last ounce of my fiber in my body. Payt Latta! Payt Latta! Payt Latta! Payt Latta! Payt Latta!